McKinsey Company in 2003. I was at the time working at IBM. Prior to that, I was at PricewaterhouseCoopers. I had just finished my PhD at Columbia University. And I thought, okay, this is time to maybe try something different. And I was actually calling a former colleague of mine and asking him about John Katzenbach, because I was talking to Katz. He still had a boutique. His firm hadn't been bought yet. And I said, I just want to know what's the reputation of Katz like in the New York office now that you're at McKinsey Company. And he said, well, maybe you should join McKinsey. And then I met a few people and I said, I'll give it a try. And I thought, I'll do that for a couple of years and I'll go do something else. My work is mostly helping large organizations transform how they do whatever they do. And for big, old, successful companies that need a change, sometimes it's hard to change because they have built-in ways of how they do stuff that often those things made them very successful in the past. And change is hard. And culture change, behavior change, capability improvement at scale is very hard. Most companies are looking to change how they work, accelerate speed, innovation, creativity, responsiveness, customer intimacy, like all these things that sound, like a slogan that you might see on an initiative or a t-shirt. To do them and do them well can drive tremendous impact. But it also means typically people have to work differently. And they often don't even know how they have to work differently. There's typically blind spots that people have in their behaviors, their mindset, even their awareness of what needs to change. So I have been counseling clients on transformation, change, behavior, culture, leadership for over 25 years.
I started my career in HR and in customer development early on, and later on moved more into the HR space, the quantitative side of HR. Spent a lot of my time with Unilever, over 10 years, where I was responsible for people analytics, employee engagement, and organization effectiveness. Along the way, I also focused my research and my academic studies in these same areas. Very much always been driven by the positive side of people development and how you can leverage the best of people, how you can get the best out of people and organizations. And I was also very curious how it would impact the business performance. So I looked also at the business case for employee engagement and people development. Later on, I continued, so I did my PhD when I was at Unilever, and I looked at the impact of leadership and employee engagement on the bottom and the top line of the organization. And I always stayed active in academia 1 day a week. I'm an adjunct professor currently at our university and a fellow researcher at the Free University in Amsterdam. And joined McKinsey also part-time, 1 day a week as an academic and 4 days a week as an expert in the organization practice. Later on, I also specialized in learning and development. So I became responsible for executive learning and development of our top 600 most senior leaders for a number of years, and joined the firm learning leadership team responsible for enduring priorities learning, which included everything around risk, health and well-being, diversity and inclusion, and a number of other topics. And recently became responsible for org science. So I'm chief scientist leading a number of topics around areas of mental health and well-being and adaptability. And I'm also an affiliated leader with our McKinsey Health Institute.
After university, I started out at Unilever in the Netherlands. Marketing, sales. I was lucky enough to actually be hired by McKinsey in New York in this small group at the time, which was called Mindsets and Behaviors. And that was actually started at McKinsey's because they started to find that a lot of the strategies needed adaptive change, and it needed this mindset and behavior work with the clients to actually help them execute on the plans that they developed. That work started to grow and get traction, and clients loved it. We started to get a need to develop more people. In that process, when I moved back to Europe, I started Aberkin, which was a partnership with external facilitators that we trained to do this work at scale. That's kind of what I've done for the past 15 years. And then about 18 months ago, I got an offer to become CEO of Imagine, which does transformational work, but specifically focused on sustainability. So that's when I decided to leave McKinsey and do my next chapter as CEO at Imagine. So that's my professional story. And it's also, in a way, how we got to the book, because my last couple of years at McKinsey, we started to get this idea of writing this book about all the experiences that we've had in the past 15 years.